Okay, today we will be doing CHIJ St. Nicholas for WA1 2025. Okay, so let's go to the first question. Okay, Vanny baked 720 cookies. She packed 18 cookies into each of the 25 bags. What fraction of the cookies baked were packed into the 25 bags? Okay, so first you know that there's 720 and the question never say they pack all. They tell you that there's one bag. Okay, for one bag there will be 18 cookies. So first you'll need to find 25 bags. So that will be 18 times 25. Okay, 18 times 25 will give you 450. And the question says what fraction? So your answer must be fractions, and big, okay, were packed into the 25. Okay, so of the fraction, the denominator is after so all the cookies baked. So you will have 45 over 720. Okay, you can reduce this way, then you have 45 over 72, 8, correct. Okay, so that will be the answer, 5 over 8. Okay, let's go on to the second question. Okay, two groups of pupils, X and Y, okay, visited a museum. So there was an equal number of pupils in both groups. 35 pupils from group X joined group Y. Okay, so there's two groups, equal number. So X same length, Y also same length. Okay, 35 pupils from group X join group Y, 35. So I mark out this like that, 35. This 35 come over here. So this model now tells you that Y has 70 more than X. Okay, so must able to transfer. So both, if they are the same, whenever you cut the model, you cut to the other same unit, so as to always consistently keeping one of the unit. Okay, so in the end there were 1, 2, 1 pupils in group Y. So this is 1, 2, 1. So to find the unit, the one unit is actually your 1, 2, 1 minus the 2 35s, which is 70. Okay, that will give you 51. So by writing the 51 inside, you will know how many pupils visited the museum all together. Okay, so what to do, you can write as 51 plus the 51 plus the 70. Okay, that will give you 172. Okay, so the answer is 172 pupils visited the museum altogether. Okay, now let's look at the next question, which is angles. So in the figure below, ABCD is a parallelogram, DGC and HGC are triangles. Given that CE and DF are straight lines, so now we know that parallelogram. So what I'll do is I will draw this line, parallel lines. Visually, it will help. All right, and then so this line here is vertically opposite. There are two straight lines, so you will see a vertically opposite angle of the 82. So if this is 82, this is 82 minus 17, which will give you 65. Next, the properties of parallelogram is, in the parallelogram, this angle and this angle are the same, which is 102. Hence, I will be able to find out this angle, which is 102 minus 49. That will give me 53. Okay, so in green, you'll be able to see that since they're asking for GHC, the one that's shaded, we will look at this triangle. So the sum of angles in the triangle is actually 180. So therefore we found out that 180 minus 65 minus 53. Okay, that will give me the angle of my, okay, for my angle GHC. So 180 minus 65 minus 53, that will give you 62 degree. Alright, so therefore the answer is 62 degree. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Okay, the bar graph below shows the type of pie sold in the bakery in a day. So all these numbers, so what we need to see is there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 unit is 20 divided by 5, so each one is 4. So this is what we know. So how many banana pies were sold? Okay, so banana. So is this line. So each box is 4. So that will be 68. So you just need to read off. The ratio of number of cream pie sold to number of apple pie is 3:4. So cream pie is to apple pie is 3:4. So let's write this down. There were 8 more custard pie. Okay, this is cream. Okay, 8 more custard pie sold than apples. So first we know the cream. Cream here is, from the diagram, is actually 48. So cream is 48. So with this 3 unit is 48. Okay, can do this. Okay, 3 unit is 48. So 1 unit will be 16. And then here I will find 4 unit, which is my apple, which is 64, which is the apple. Okay, so 64. I'm already. Okay, 64. Right, so they said there were 8 more custard pie sold. So custard is 8 more, which is 8 plus 64. That gives you 72. So there the question asks you, how many apple pie and custard pie? Custard pie, you have this number. Apple pie, you have this number. So therefore the total is 72 plus 64. That will give you 136 as the answer. Alright, so need to always find out label and just write down some details. Actually it gives you a clearer understanding. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Question 5. Martha had 2 pieces of wire. Each of them measured 40 cm. She bent one wire into a square and the other into a rectangle with a length of 70. So each of them measured, so she has 2 wires, each one 40. So first one, what's the area of the square? So it bent into a square and the total, so you know that the perimeter is 40. So all 4 sides same. So therefore, one length is actually 40 divided by 4, which gives you 10. And they want the area. So area is actually 10 times 10. That will give you 100 cm square. Alright, so this is the answer. So they ask you for the next one, which is also says that each of them measure 40. Each referring the 2 pieces, each one is 40, 40. So for this, we will measure out this way. It's easier to draw, to understand. They said 17, 17, and this is the breadth. So perimeter is still 40. So to find the breadth, 2 of the breadth is actually 40 minus 17 minus 17. That will give you 2 of the breadth is actually 6. So therefore you know that the one breadth is actually 3 cm. So one breadth is 3 cm and we found. That's all. Perimeter is just the exterior all add together. Okay, next. They say find the ratio of the total area of the square. They want area of square is to area of the square and rectangle, so it's plus the rectangle. Okay, 2 area of the rectangle is 2 rectangle, so the number in front will be bigger. So first we need to find the area of rectangle. Alright, so area of rectangle is actually 17 times 3. That will give you 51. So for your square is 100. Okay, so it's 100 plus the 51 is to 51. So it's 151 is to 51. Alright, so let's see, is there anything? So how do you check using this? If you have a calculator, you can use calculator. If not, you have to do manual and at least to understand how to key in. So what you can do is with your calculator, you can key in fraction, the small number on top. Okay, so if you key in fraction, we key as 51 over 151. If the answer is still 51 over 151, means there's nothing we can reduce. Okay, if the answer gives you something smaller, then you just replace the number accordingly to the ratio numbers given in the calculator. So but this case it doesn't, so therefore the answer is 151 is to 51. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Okay, it says that ABCD is an equilateral triangle. So here it says that an AC equals to BC. AC is the same length as BC, but they never mark for you. So let's mark out 2 lines that will give your visual knowing that it is an isosceles triangle, which means you can work out this to be 45 because of the triangle. Make sense? How? Which triangle I'm not looking? Let's mark it out for you. I'm looking at this triangle here, which is an isosceles triangle. Do you see that? I'm using this triangle to get me that's 45 because of the 90. Alright, and then they say that BD is a straight line. That's all. That's what they have. So they ask me to find. Oh, they also said ACD is an equilateral triangle. Do you see this word? Okay, I think we missed out the first. Okay, so equilateral triangle meaning what? This is also the same length. Hence, they are all 60. 60, 60, 60. So in blue, I saw another triangle here. This triangle is isosceles triangle. You see they overlap. So they want you to find A, B, D. But in order to find A, B, D, I need the angle here. Right? Because I will need to use 45 minus the small blue one here, okay, DBC, in order to give me the answer. So first I will need to find that. So look out at the blue one. I will draw the blue one. The blue one will look something like this. Okay. And you know this angle, which consists of the 90 and the 60, it gives you 150. Isosceles triangle, these two are the same. So first we will have the 180 minus the 150, which is 30. And then the 30 divided by 2 will give you 15 each. Okay. So now we know how to find the shaded part, which is 45 minus 50 give you 30. So write it in, this is 30. So we found A, B, D. Okay, let's move on. They want AED. Where's my AED? A, E, D. So it's missing for the E. I believe this is the E in red, right here. So they want A, E, D. So this is what they want. And I know this is 15 too. Okay, here. So this is 45. So in the red triangle, this is the 180 in order to help me see. So let's draw this triangle out. Okay, it's this way. This is what they want. I know this is 60 and I know this is 45. So to find this angle is 180 minus 60 minus 45. That will give me 70 degrees. Alright, so the answer here is 30 and this is 75 degrees. Okay, so if not sure, go back to the video and look at this diagram and slowly understand again how I do it. Because important things are all the keywords given. You need to mark it out inside, and whenever you need to do the triangle, you need to look at using straight line, using 180 and so on to help you find. Okay, next one. Let's move on to the next question. Fractions. At a camp, 6/11 of the pupils are girls. So easily telling you that in this statement, there's 11 units of pupils, 6 of the units belongs to the girls, and the opposite are boys, which is the 5. So see, the number hidden is 5 units. Okay, so let's split this up nicely first. Let's draw 11 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11, 2, 4, 6. These are girls. These are boys. Next, and they are saying that 3/4 of the girls do not wear spectacles. The girls have to split into 4 units. 3 of them do not wear spectacles. So, but I have 6 units of girls, and I need to split them into 4. How? I need to make them the same. So 6 and 4, they are actually 12. So to make them 12, it's as good as this times 2. Okay, and the girls will times 3. So clearly, each of my 6 all have to cut into 2. So I'll do it in blue. No, I'll do it in yellow. It's lighter. So all cut into 2. So by doing so, I'm still keeping the 1 unit consistent for the boys too. Alright? And from there, I'll mark out 9. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So these are the ones that no specs. These are the ones that wear specs. But they only give you 48 boys wear spectacles, which you do not know how to mark into the diagram. Okay, but what do we know next? Let's see. Altogether, there are 90 pupils who wear spectacles. This is a very important clue. Okay, this is a very important clue. Why? So under wearing spectacles, there's 90. So 90, there is boys and there's girls. And they already tell you the details for 48 boys. There's 48 boys wearing spectacles, so you'll be able to find the girls out of the 90, which is 90 minus 48. That turns out to be 42. Oh, we got a number here. This is 42. So 42 is a 3 unit. With this, then we will know what is the total number of boys at the camp. Very easy. So let's go back to, let me use blue. Okay, so we know this portion. 3 unit is 42. 3 unit is 42. So 1 unit is 14. How many units of boys do we have? We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 units. 10 units of boys, so it's 140. So the total number of boys at the camp is 140. Yeah. Next, how many boys do not wear spectacle? This is a very straightforward question because we know 48 boys wear spectacle. We know our first part. So if you do not know how to draw the first part or how to solve our first part, there goes your part B. Alright, so 48 wear spectacles. So there's 140 boys and 48 wear spectacles. So this is how we will get 92 as the answer. Alright. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Okay, the two rectangular tank A and B are shown below. So there's 2 tanks, okay, one with water. So at first, 1/7 of tank A was filled with water and tank B was empty. So what was the volume of water in tank A at first? So what I like to do is always look at the height if it's given, so it's easier to understand. That means by looking at the 1/7, okay, the height has been split into 7 units, meaning 1 unit will be 3 cm. So to find the volume, it will be quite easy, which is length times breadth times the height is 3 cm. 3 cm represents the water. I don't need to find 21 and then divide by 7 and find 1. So a bit of little mental calculation will be quite fast enough to understand. So I have 60 times 16 times 3. So the volume of water inside is 2880. Remember to take note of the units because sometimes the question like to throw you in liters. Then your units and everything will be haywired. Okay, so this easily pocket your 2 marks. Alright, let's go on. So both taps were turned on at the same time. So water from both taps flowed at the same rate. After tank B was fully filled with water, tank A took another 7.5 minutes to be filled. Tank A took, so why is it longer? It's because looking at the measurement, for tank A is actually bigger, tank B is actually smaller. So they said, okay, how much water flowed into tank A in 1 minute? Okay, so it is quite a lot of things to, because to take note. First, they say both taps were on the same time, then water flow at the same rate, but okay, after tank B was fully filled with water, so tank A took another 7.5 minutes to be filled. So which also means that with the original amount of water inside tank A, it filled up with the same capacity inside here and still have a 7.5 minutes left, then they finish filling up the tank A. Alright, so from here, what we need to do is, first we know the volume of water inside tank A. I need to find the volume of water or the capacity too for tank B. Reason because I need to know before it was filled up or before the 7.5 minutes, okay, 7.5 minutes, what is the amount of volume, okay, that is still, the empty, that's still empty in tank A. That will tell me the amount flow in over that 7.5 minute. So first, okay, so as we do, I will explain clearer, okay. So first, we know that at first, okay, so at first, my tank is 2,880 cm cube. So next, I need to find tank B. Okay, tank B capacity, which is also the volume, 40, 12, and 21. 40 times 12 times 21. that will give me 10,080 cm cube. So by model, this is my A, my tank A. I originally has 2880, then when they on the tap, tank B finishes, which means the amount of water flowing in together is 10080. So I will still need 7.5 minutes to fill this up. So I need to find this volume. How do I find it? So first I'll need my tank A. So if you have found your tank A using the capacity method, right, it will be easier. It will help you in this case. 60 times 16 times 21. Okay, so that will give you 60 times 16 times 21. You will have 20160. So to find I'll label this as space air or anything. So the empty space that is for the 7.5 minutes is 160 minus 10080 minus 2880. Okay, this will give you 7,200. So this space here is 7,200 cm cube. Okay, so what do we know now? Okay, write it in blue. Okay, which means 7.5 minutes. 7.5 minutes will cover up a total of this amount of water. Okay, so just to find 1 minute, I can just divide by 7.5. So your answer is 960 cm cube per minute. So therefore 960 cm cube per minute. Okay, for they're asking how much water flow, right? So the tank they're asking for 1 minute how much water. Both the tap are the same, so you will use 900 and you can find a 960 cm cube of water flow. All right, if you're not very sure, look through again to understand what this question is actually asking, because the question is a lot of section inside just one long chunk of a paragraph. Okay, so slowly look through, then you will understand how to understand what the question is actually asking for, then you will know what to find. Okay, let's go on to the last question. So at the shop, rolls of ribbon were sold at $7 each. Okay, so for every 3 rolls of ribbon bought, customers were given 1 roll free. So it means buy 3. This statement is like buy 3, free 1. Okay, so there's 4 lah. In other words, if I work out the money is 4 rolls is $21 because $7 each. So last Friday, some customer bought either 1 or 3 rolls. The shopkeeper collected a total amount of 1925 from the sale of ribbons and gave away 65 rolls free. So this is a giveaway clue. If you give away 65 rolls free, meaning there is 65 customer buying the 3 rolls indirectly, right? So there's 65. So you know that the one group is 21. So 65 times 21. This will be the number we know that spent by this group of customers. So 65 times 21. From this group of customer, he collected 1,365. So he has a 1925. Okay, split into 2 groups, which is one group is 1365. And from here, I need to find the other group that only buy 1, which is 560. Okay, here got 65 customer. This one we know. But the question asks you how many customer bought only 1 row, which means this part. So 1 row is 21. You collected $560 from those buying only 1, right? So you divide by so 560 you divide by 7, that will give you 80 customers. So therefore there's only 80 customers that buy 1 row each, which divide by 7. Okay, so the working here is that 560 divided by $7 give you the 80. Okay, next, so it says that Lenny's used a piece of ribbon each of length 110 cm to tie 25 parcel. Ribbon was sold in row of 300 cm each. So what was the least amount of money that Lenny paid for the roll of ribbon? Okay, mistake number 1. You do not use 110 times 25. Okay, why? Because your ribbon are sold at 300. So let's say this is 300. Your one full ribbon, when you open it up, you cut them into 110, 110, 110. This one is 80. How do you use it to cut? So these are actually a waste. So for me, it means that every one ribbon, okay, one row, you can only tie 2 present, 2 parcel. Correct? So one row can only tie 2 parcel. You have 25 parcel. You need to buy how many? Okay, it's a rounded off number, which means you need to buy 13 rows. Okay, the 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. You round up, you need to buy 13 rows. So how will you split your 13 rows, knowing that there's buy 3 get 1 free? So for your 13 rows, you have to buy one group, which is 4. This is 4. That's 12 already, and then you have the last one, 1. This is because the question was asking for the least amount of money to spend. So for every one group, so if you refer back, one group actually costs you $21. So this is 21, 21, 21, and this is $7. So the least amount of money you will spend, okay, is actually add them up, you will spend only $70 on all the ribbon. Do not make the mistake of adding up all the length required and then you times, because you can't tie the ribbon with this 80. Okay, it never state, and we don't do that way. This is a thinking question that you need to understand. A lot of people will not get this answer, will make mistake because they go and find the total length required, then from there they divide 300 and then to find the number of rows. This is the mistake. Okay, so the 80 is actually the waste. You can't continue tying anything like adding another 30 cm to it. The ribbon will be broken. It doesn't tie this way. Alright, so this is a consideration you need to take note of. Okay, where this type of question will separate most of the students thinking. Alright, can? Okay, so that's all for the paper. So if you want other paper, can look out for I'll add them more exam papers inside with the answers. Okay, then for any other thing, you can just let me know through the comments. Okay, bye.